Hey class, and welcome to assignment 3. In this exercise, we'll be learning how to build the basic framework for millwork and add 3D elements from 3D Warehouse. So this is the end of our previous assignment. We have our exterior walls built. We have windows and doors cut. We have all of our tags and layers working for our model. And I can verify that by going to Window, Tags, or in your case in SketchUp Online, going to the right hand menu and clicking on Entity Info and Tags. And if I want to turn off, let's say, the roof up here, I have my roof itemized. So I have R1 flat roof. That comes off. I'll just pivot down here for you. I've got R2, which is my slope roof. I can see inside that building. I can also go ahead and turn off most of my second floor interior partitions, and all those layers, and get that model working. So turn that back on for you. So that's the end of the previous assignment here. And what we're doing today is learning how to build some of the internal details. So things like millwork and our fixtures, furniture, and equipment. So in future weeks, we'll learn how to use scenes, and this allows me to turn off certain layers, record a camera position, and I can go into what we're doing today, which is building our millwork. But we'll get to scenes in a future assignment. So for today, this is what I'm going to show you how to build. A simple bathroom vanity. This is coming from our plans of our laneway suite. So it's a single vessel vanity with a single faucet. It has a storage area here tucked behind the sink. So let's go back to our view here. So what we're doing is very simple. It's using all the skills you have built to date. And let me turn off the vanity to show you what we're going to do. So to start, I'm going to read from my plans and get a sense of how big my vanity is. In this case, my vanity starts 18 inches off the wall, and it wraps for the entire width of this room. So I make a rectangle, so R rectangle, use my guideline corner to corner, double click, right click, make group, select, P for push, and I can push that up to 36 inches tall, which is the height of my vanity, and have a box, right? Nothing too exciting here. Now, to give this some definition, I can pivot my camera down with orbit, or O for orbit, and let's add some detail here. So my vanity is roughly 36 inches wide, and if I tape measure, it's 5'6.5", or whatever your room width is. And let's add the kick. So the kick is that recessed portion at the bottom for your toes, and I can double click. I can hit T for tape measure, and the kick on our vanity is 4 inches off the ground. So I hit 4, enter, set a guideline. And now I'm going to edit this group. I want to push in just the base of the vanity. So I'm going to hit line for line tool, L, and then draw a line from side to side on this guideline. And that's going to bisect the face of that group. So I select the bottom one, hit P for push, and I'm going to push that in 3 inches. So now I've formed my kick. Now at the top, I can also set a guideline, edit the group, come down 1.5 inches in the blue axis, right? I can hit up arrow or find the blue axis. Come down 1.5 inches, the thickness of my countertop. Let's get rid of my tags here. I can hit L for line, segment that face again, hit P for push, and then pull that countertop out an inch. And now I have a recess kick, and I have a bit of an overhang here. So that would work if I want to color my vanity all one color. In my case, I actually want to color and would apply texture to my countertop being separate. So I'm going to make a separate vanity top here. So I'm going to take the top of my vanity, which is 36 inches. I'm going to push it down 1.5 inches. So 1.5, enter. And that's the height of the cabinet. So the cabinet is going to be 34.5 inches off the ground. Now I'm going to put a countertop on top. So I exit the group. You can see I'm unselected here, nothing selected. Hit R for rectangle, corner to corner. Is your rectangle on the top of my group here. Double click, right click, make group. Double click to select, P to push. And I push that new group up 1.5 inches. So to simulate the countertop. select the front face. I'm going to pull that out 1 inch. So that looks exactly like we had before, but now it's a separate group. So later when I apply texture, I can texture and color those two elements separate. Now to add elements like doors and drawers without making them fully operational, we're just looking for a representation, is I want to draw lines in the face of this group here. So I'm going to select this lower vanity, double click to go into the group. So you can see now I'm into this group. Hit T for tape measure. I'm going to make a 36-inch wide sink cabinet. So I set a line here, and I'm going to orbit down so I can see the intersection between this vanity here. Hit L for line, move up to the intersection between the countertop and my vanity, come down to the base of my cabinet, and that just bisects that face here. Now let's turn this into 2 drawers. So I'm going to mouse and find the midpoint of the new line, click, come across. Now I've got 2 drawers here. I want to turn this left-hand side actually into 2 doors for storage. So I'll find the midpoint here and just pivot down a bit more so I can find it. Hit L, and I'm looking for this midpoint here. Let's come in here a bit. All right, so there's midpoint. Hit L for a midpoint. Sorry, L for line. Select for midpoint, and then come down. If you pull back too far, it means you've zoomed basically inside the wall. And hit H for hand to pan up, and then I can continue drawing. So there's back to midpoint. Okay, so I have 2 drawers on the left. Sorry, 2 doors on the left, 2 drawers on the right. I want to add some handles. So I can set up a guideline, find the midpoint here, come down from the top of the drawer in the blue axis, so up for blue axis. Let's come down 3 inches. I'm going to pan up so I can see the top of that upper door, come down again 3 inches, and I'll make my handles 8 inches wide. So I'm going to offset from there 4 inches to each side, and I'll make my handle 1/2 inch tall, so 0.5. Hit R for rectangle, go corner to corner, double click, make group. And that's my first handle here. And because I don't want to do this twice, I want to move it. I'm going to select that new rectangle, hit M for move, and then on a Mac, hit Option. So M Option, I get Move Plus. On a PC, it's M Control. I get M Plus. I select one corner up here, this top corner. So zoom in there, that one. I'm going to apply it to this other guideline I set down here. So now I have 2 handles, 2 drawers, 2 doors, edit, delete my guides, and I've built the basics. Again, I'm inside the wall, I zoom back too far. That's the basics of my little vanity here. So I've got a countertop, I have some lowers, and for gestural purposes, this works quite well for doing sort of millwork layouts. So you can read the elevations you have already plan set, build some basic cabinets, tops that are to scale, and then you can draw on the drawer faces. Should you have any door faces that are kind of a shaker style, which has a boundary, I could click into this group. I could select just this portion, hit F for offset, click and pull this in. So let's make that a 2-inch shaker door. Same thing on this side. F, come in 2 inches. And then I can come in here and I could draw on the face. Let's go C for circle. And I could draw a little handle. And I can grab that, move and copy that over. I can make stuff like that. So all I'm doing is manipulating the face of this object and giving it some scale, giving it some texture. But in this case, we're trying to replicate the drawings here. So we have two doors on the left, and we have two drawers here. Okay. All right, let's go back to this first scene. Again, a scene is a recorded camera angle. So I've got my vanity built now. This is what I'm trying to build here is a vanity also with a sink. And if I turn back on my tags and I turn off what I built before, this is what I have so far. So I'm very close to being finished. Now what I want to do is I want to go to a site called 3D Warehouse. So you can Google this. 3D Warehouse. This is the 3D repository of built models of fridges, cars, planes, buildings, toilets, sinks, in our case faucets. You can search single pole faucet or single handle faucet. and I found one earlier. And that's here's a single vessel sink that I found. And again, I found a single faucet. So you can go in a 3D warehouse. You can search by manufacturer. So I searched Kohler, which is a big North American manufacturer. That's Kohler. Single handle bathroom faucet. Found one that I liked, or one that matched my my model. And I'm simply going to download one that is for a 2021 SketchUp Pro, or in your case, you can download one for SketchUp Online, and this is what you have. I then downloaded a single bathroom sink, and that looks like this one here. This one fit my space based on the specs of my drawing. So this sink roughly is 16 inches wide by 12 inches deep. So that works pretty well for me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my model here. I'm going to go to, there's our model. And I'm going to place this sink within my little quick mock-up I have here. So I'm going to select the countertop, hit T for tape. Because my sink cabinet is 36 inches wide, I'm going to come over 18 inches. That's the midpoint. I'm going to come out and find the midpoint of that countertop. So there's my midpoint. And my sink that I found was 12 inches deep. So I'm going to come back from this line 6 inches, come forward 6 inches. That sink was 1'4" wide, so 16 inches. So I'm going to come over 8 and then come over 8. And I'm going to basically do an opening through this top and cut the hole for my sink. So hit R for rectangle, corner to corner. And again, I am drawing within that edited group because I can see that I'm bisecting that face. Hit P for push it down 1.5 inches because that's the thickness of my top here, and that deletes it completely. And I'll actually exit this group, and I'm going to select the top face of my lower cabinet. This is the top of my little cabinet box. Hit delete, and now I'm actually seeing inside my cabinet. Right, so we need a hole right through it. Okay. Now I simply go to the file that I want to copy. So I'm going to go back to my sink here. Oh, there's the faucet. Go to sink. Grab the sink here. Just select Command C or Control C. So copy it. Go back to my model. And then Command V or Control V. I'm going to paste the sink. Now, the model's smart enough to bring this in at full scale. So if you were drawing at 1:1, which case that's what we're doing here, it brings it in exactly the size that we want it to be. Now this is the overflow in the front that you see here, so you can simply turn that around, hit Q for rotate, click, come over, and then spin it around. That works just fine. If your sink overflow is in the front, then just leave that where it is based on the spec of your drawing. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to set this inside of our cabinet. So I'm going to move it closer. I'm going to grab it by this top corner. That's the outside corner. And move it and position it down, getting it closer here to my actual cabinet. So I can ideally set it and snap it to my lines I have here. So hit move again, grab at the corner, snap it to this corner of my sink here. So right to there. So now I'm roughly in position, and I can see that it's actually offset a bit because I grabbed it by the outside corner. So I'm going to move it over to center it there, and then center it forward, or sorry, front and back. So grab and center, right? And now it's sitting basically in line with the top of my countertop. But I'm trying to build a counter sort of undermount sink. So I'm going to hit M for move. Click to start, hit up for the blue arrow. Now it's only moving the up and down axis. And my countertop thickness is 3/4 of an inch. So even if that front edge of your countertop is 1.5 inches, the actual slab thickness is only 3/4. So I can move it down and then write 3/4 for 3/4, hit enter. And now it's just lowered that sink by 3/4 of an inch. Now it looks pretty good. Okay, let's go back and grab our faucet. Oh, that's the sink, sorry. We'll go back, grab the faucet. So same operation. So select, Command C or Control C, go back to your main model, Command V on a Mac or Control C on a PC, and you can see it sideways here. So I can stick it anywhere I want. I'm going to stick it to this surface. So on face of group, that's on top of the countertop. And I can see it's sideways. So I have to rotate it. So rotate in SketchUp is Q, or I can click up here to rotate, but Q for rotate. I can click on the object here or anywhere on the surface. Click to start. I'm going to mouse down to find this red axis. Click again and then rotate over. And I want to snap to the green axis. That's going to be 90 degrees. So click to end that rotate. And now I want to position this little faucet. So this boundary box, I can select from it. I can hit M for move, grab by the corner, grab by the midpoint. I can move it over and snap to here. And then I'll simply hit move again and slide it out till it looks like it's roughly in position. So let's say right around there. And if I rotate around, I can see it's roughly, in the middle between the back of this backsplash and the front of my sink here. So again, O for orbit, and I'm rotating around. And honestly, that looks pretty good. For most mock-ups and models, this will work pretty well. And clear the guidelines for you. Edit. Delete guides. And I think that's good. For representation and scale, we have a kick down here. I've got drawers. I've got some hardware drawn on. My countertop is a separate object, which works really well. I have a sink that's rendered and actually has slope that you can see. It's actually shadowed in here, so that looks pretty good. And I've got a faucet here that is, looks like a chrome material or satin material, fully to scale and representative of the actual fixture. So, back to the scene here. That's the completion of our step here. So what you want to do is build all of the fixtures and appliances for your space. You can download full-scale toilets, shower hardware, shower bases, shower doors, fridges, stoves. So if you want to actually set these fixtures within your model, remember you want to actually cut the hole for the sink the same way as you would on a job site, and then set it to the other side. Download a fridge that's to scale, download any appliances that are scale, microwaves, all those details. When you're done, of course, make sure you go through and tag all these elements. So I could hit, plus sign and say C1 counter top, and then grab that element. On Pro, you got to view the entity info and then change the tag to C1 countertop. And of course, now that turns on and off. Okay, so you can group those into like finishes, so countertop or millwork. You can put all your plumbing fixtures on a tag as well, and then your drawing is quite organized. So that's the end of exercise number 3. So go ahead and build all the fixtures and millwork, and then download any fixtures and equipment you need to fill out the vanity, closet, and bathroom. Okay, thanks.